Yo, yo, yiggity, yo. That's how I'm going to start.
From now on.
From now on.
Yo, yo, yiggity, yo.
Yeah, just like that.
Okay. Welcome to Well Rounded Momma's YouTube channel. Today, we are going to talk about co-sleeping. So if you find this helpful, like, subscribe, ring the bell. What is co-sleeping?
So co-sleeping, or sometimes they call it bed sharing, is sleeping with your kiddos.
Yep.
Sharing a bed with them.
In the bed with you. And so why would individuals want to do that?
Personally, I co-slept with my kids because I got more sleep that way. It was a selfish motivation to do it.
Yeah. So I think there are a lot of reasons why
so
individuals bed share. Like a lot of my Latino clients,
that's a cultural thing.
That's a cultural, like the bed sharing is a big deal. Like it's a big part of their culture.
Yeah. There was a midwife that once was like, well, yeah, because like if somebody came up and attacked your like cave back in the day, you'd want to be near your kids and stuff.
I think about that. There are times where we've had to go through and be like, okay, if there's a fire, here's the plan.
Yeah.
If we had to evacuate or somebody broke into the house, here's the plan. Like you do think about that.
For sure.
With your kids being in somewhere.
Yeah.
And so
I'm like, I just snatch them out of my bed and leave.
I think but here in the United States, I think the main
different.
reason we do it is just like you said, for convenience. And
convenience, attachment, those kinds of things.
And I think it helps with breastfeeding. So especially if you're breastfeeding, I think it really helps you be able to feed on demand at night and of help baby go back to bed right away.
For sure. They say that like they are quicker to go back to bed. You know, moms don't have to fully wake up and leave the bed to go to a nursery to pick their kid up, to feed them, then put them back, then get back to bed. You know, I just rolled over and stuck a boob in their mouth and was like, this is what it is, kids. Figure it out.
Right.
I gotta sleep.
That's so great, right? This idea of being able to sleep with your kids and for them to feel comforted and for that when they wake up in the middle of the night, for them to get comforted back. But why in our society is there a negative voice towards co-sleeping or bed sharing? Well,
there have been stories of babies being suffocated and those kinds of things. But from the research I've done on it, it's usually in correlation with like a parent being intoxicated on some type of medication that makes those normal, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like that alert, that response, that normal parenting response you wake to your children was kind of diminished because they were under the influence of something.
And so that's the point that you can safely
do it,
co-sleep and safely bed share. But there are definitely some times, especially if you have siblings in the bed, that plays a role.
Yeah.
Unless your body is in between those two siblings, because kids do fall out of bed. That sense, that thing that keeps us from falling out of bed at night, that awareness that we have. Young children don't necessarily have.
Yeah. They say they don't have self-awareness and spatial recognition until like 18 months.
Yeah. Same with pets. Same.
Pets don't care.
People that are morbidly obese cannot co-sleep with their children, as well as individuals on medication. So again, they're not things that are like in a negative way towards humans, but you can't be on something that helps you sleep or an antidepressant, anything that would impair your judgment. You shouldn't be co-sleeping.
Yes. We talk about like pillows and blankets. Like when I co-sleeped, all my blankets were tucked under me. My kids slept next to me so that they weren't accidentally being smothered by a blanket.
Just like when you put them in their cribs, you're not supposed to put pillows and stuffed animals.
So we kind of had like, it was like parting the Red Sea in our bed. It was like a space in the bed for the kid.
Well, and I had 6 kids, and we slept with all of them, except for my second son, who really hated sleeping with us. And then my last son, I couldn't get out of my bed. I have so much memories of them falling asleep in like the crook of my arm, or laying on my chest, and then just being so desperate for sleep that you just were like, don't wake the sleeping baby, and that kind of idea and mentality. And I do think it really helped with like the nursing and the breastfeeding from that standpoint.
Well, and they even talk about like, we know skin to skin helps, babies regulate their heart rate, their breathing and everything. So of course, like when you're thinking of it from like a SIDS standpoint too, like we want those babies to have regulated heart rates, breathing, all of those things as well. Body temps, exactly. So there are some benefits if you do it safely, for sure.
Yep. The part that I would like to now address is, how are you intimate with your partner? Partners can tune in now.
I don't know. We have to go to a different room.
So, what was really interesting is my husband and I, when we talked about it, he was like, I want my wife back at some point. at some point,
there's
I want to know, like, this bed is for me and my wife.
Sure.
And so we agreed on 6 months. And so that's what we did, except for with my sixth. He slept with us for like 2 years. But he slept with us for, my kids all slept with me for like 6 months. And then we like transferred them to a bassinet, and then to eventually by age 1, they were in their own room.
That's not happening.
What was really nice about that is I really didn't have a crib for most of my kids.
I didn't.
And so
I saved money that way.
I know, right? I think with partners, you just have to have that conversation prior to doing it so that your partner feels heard and respected. I have a human in my life, I won't specify who, but they co-slept for they had 5 kids, they co-slept all the time. So they always had 1 or 2 kids in the bed. And I was talking to her and she goes, oh, we just go out to the couch. I was like, oh, your husband's way better than mine, because mine...
We've gone to the couch.
Mine would
My kids are still in bed.
No.
Riker, he is like a part-timer. Like, sometimes he wants to sleep in bed with us, but a lot of times he still wants to sleep in his cool new bunk bed. But Charlie's still in bed with us, and she'll be too.
Yeah.
But we have a guest room.
Do that, right?
We have a guest room.
But when we had that conversation, she came back to me like 2 weeks later, and she goes, so I was talking to my partner, and they're not as cool with it as I thought. So
Chris is not cool, but he's vocal about it. But I'm like,
but that's the important part, is you just have to talk about it. It just has to be like nobody wants to do that.
And kids aren't perfect. Like, each kid is different. Like you said, most of your kids were done by 6 months, but you had one that was like, no, I'm not leaving this bed, Yeah. I think, you work out what works for your kids, for your partners. Me and Chris agreed that we used guest room.
A family bed doesn't necessarily have to mean that there's a lack of intimacy or a lack of having your partner back. Now, some of the biggest concerns that people had, so we definitely did a little bit more of like a peer raising our children, and they thought for sure that my kids were gonna not be independent, I have the most independent children on the planet.
I don't know. Charlie wakes up and tries to fix herself breakfast, and she's not 2, so I think we're okay.
Yeah. So I think again, that's a personality thing. And I think for me, I thought about the crying it out thing. So we didn't do that with my kids.
We don't do that either.
Because we had read that study that says that but by the time they stop crying for you, they know that you're not coming.
Yeah. And
I never wanted to be that. I think it was something that actually brought me and my husband closer together, because we felt like we were in the parenting thing together.
Well, it's hard too, because it's not like especially if you're exclusively breastfeeding, they're not really doing feedings unless you're pumping occasionally for them to do that. You're kind of making that a family thing for sure.
Cora loved to fall asleep right here on my chest. And
that was Riker too.
They're so tiny that you think that that's not hard, but after a little while, you're like, I can't breathe, I'm gonna die, bring in the oxygen. And so if I could be like, it's your turn, Adam, and then he would take a turn, right? It was nice to know you were in it with somebody else, and that they were part of that, and that they could see that. And everybody has their own comfort.
For sure.
Levels.
And there's nothing wrong if you don't co-sleep either. Yeah. There's nothing...
You're not damaging your child.
No.
No, we're all damaging our children.
I was going to say, it's kind of like a rite of passage. Right?
It is a rite of passage. Kidding. No.
We're kidding.
But I think, you have to know that, even though we did things like co-slept and breastfed, and we didn't do things like... we didn't do a lot of punishing or timeouts or whatever with
Cry
the kids.
Outs, those kinds of things.
That my kids really... I can say now, because my youngest just turned 15 this weekend.
Send me cookies.
I can see that they're very well adapted, very independent. They do not crawl. Well, you know what? That's not true. They all do crawl into my bed.
But that's kind of nice. I did not co-sleep technically with my parents or anything, but I definitely fell asleep in their room a lot and stuff. And maybe I did, and that wasn't a term used. I don't know. But I crawl into my parents' bed and hang out with them and stuff. And I don't know.
And see, I grew up in a household where your parents' room was kind of
off limits, scary place.
A little bit. It was it was their space. I think that.
And now look, everybody hangs out in her bed.
Now everybody hangs out in my bed.
I hang out in Sherry's bed sometimes. Yeah. We always get off topic, Sherry.
We do get off topic. Co-sleeping, but we both did it, but we have a lot of clients who don't. Yep. They have bassinets. Now you can buy co-sleepers.
Yeah, that attached to your bed. It's an extension of your bed.
Yeah, you can do extensions of your bed.
They make those new family beds.
They have those ones that go in the middle,
Have you seen those? They're family beds. They're mattresses that are bigger than king-size mattresses. They're huge. They can go from wall to wall. I was that's what I need. We should post some links below about safe co-sleeping and how to achieve that. We'll do that. down there.
Yep. So regardless of what you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to do it for ease of breastfeeding or just attachment, kind
whatever.
of regulating your baby and getting them into
whatever it is.
Yeah, teaching them some healthy patterns to help them self-soothe and stuff. You can healthily co-sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us your story down below. Like, let us know, what were your concessions you made with your partner?
Oh yeah,
that's always fun to hear. I hear a lot of those.
Yeah.
What did you have to?
For sure.
Yeah, where's the craziest place you had sex?
There we go.
So, if you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, ring the bell, share with your friends.
Why isn't the bell attached to the tripod? The bell should be with the tripod.
From that hook right there.
Yeah, because then it would always be where I need it to be to ring the stupid bell.
You can't even know. You can't see.
You can't see our feet, but we can kick the bell.
I'm kicking this.
I'll be like, huh.
Wonderful. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys. She just spread her COVID all over me.
We always laugh with my grandkids now. I'm like, stop acting like a 2-year-old. It's my 2-year-old. There is this expectation that they're supposed to act like humans, and or not humans, like adults.
Act like a human.
Act like a human. Like, what
Get it together. I'm gonna just start doing that with every video. Co-sleeping's dope. You should do it. We're gonna make hashtags.
Waterbirth is dope.
Waterbirth is dope. You should do it.
Co-sleeping is dope.
I'm gonna make shirts. We should sell them in the store.
Oh, did anybody guess what the shirt said that Tori got me?
Oh.
I'll wear it for our next video. I have to say, when we got married, we had a full-size bed.
How did you fit in that?
And then when I started co-sleeping with the kids, we got a king-size mattress. Mm-hmm. And then when we were done with all the littles, I was like, let's go back to a queen bed. The king bed takes so much space up in our room. We bought a king bed. We couldn't sleep. Or queen. We couldn't sleep. We're like, we're too close to each other.
So tiny.
I need my space. Woohoo. My youngest is 15. My oldest, I've only got 2 left in school. It's crazy. 2 left in high school, and then I'm
done. Got a lot of years before that, guys.
Yeah.
Send help.
Yeah. That's how I met my husband's family. It was someone's birthday party, and they were all hanging out in his mom's room, and they were all like laying in her bed, and she had a couch in there. I was so uncomfortable, and so the whole family thought I was.
Spoiler alert, they've been married for like 20 bajillion years.
They've been married for like 26 and a half years.
That's 20 bajillion.
They're stuck with me.